Go ahead and tell me what led you from football to now Cupcake Connoisseur.
So the reason why I was cupcakes was who doesn't love cupcakes, but it was a small investment. And at the same time, it was learn the business, trial and error, learn from something small, a small investment, and learn how the business operates. We went with a franchise because they already have a platform. So you could pretty much understand the platform. And if you ever wanted to branch off, start your own business, whether it was a restaurant or whether it was something else in the food industry, you kind of knew how to operate it outside of going to school because there's no hand-on experience. You just take classes. And, if you go back to school, which I did to get my degree, everything that I was learning, I was like, this really does not apply to the real world. I understand that, life is like school. There's lessons to be learned throughout your entire life and things that you got to learn from, and what may work for you may not work for me. So opening this business, I think it opened my eyes a lot because you start understanding that, the work ethic that I learned playing the game of football and realize you have to be able to, I say, when you come back to the real world, you got to understand that you're dealing with people. You're not dealing with everybody who has the same type of goals. You got to have that coach mentality when people respond in different ways, whether it's, writing it down, whether it's writing up on the board, let's walk through it. Let me show you the film. So you start learning how to deal with people as a coach, as running a business, to understand how can I make this business, which we are a team, how can I make this thing run smoothly and achieve the goal, which is sell as many cupcakes as we can, but make sure we have those returning people coming in, the consumers coming in and making everybody have a great experience. So we've been open for 2 years and it's been going very well. But again, it's just that learning experience, is understanding everyday life, getting to know your neighbors and knowing like what they get up every morning and go to work to do outside of just getting up and playing the game of football.
Yeah, man, it's so interesting that you say that, because I remember when I saw that you guys opened that up, you and Rat, so shout out to him. It was so intriguing to me because that's something I had never seen been done before. And then I see you guys on Good Morning America, things like that, on Instagram, everything like that. So it intrigued me simply because I'm like, man, how come nobody has like ever thought about that or had the balls to just enter the cupcake or the dessert industry? Because myself, you can come to my house right now, you'll see a stack of cupcakes right down there on my kitchen counter downstairs, because I'm gonna always give me at least 1 or 2 cupcakes a day because, man, I got a sweet tooth. Now, I don't love all desserts, but I got to have a sweet tooth. So no matter what, whether you're an adult, whether you're a child, whether you're an adolescent, it don't matter. Everybody's going to always love that. So going forward, have you thought about, are you going to start to go into other franchises or possibly maybe actually open up other locations, things like that? Because if you do, I want to be first on your list because we definitely need one out here in Houston.
Well, and it's in Houston right now. You got to look it up. And it started out it's a franchise that started in Nashville. So of course I was very, very aware of it, and I was around it for 9 years playing with the Tennessee Titans. So I knew about the product, and of course Nashville and Austin are very similar. So when it came to thinking about what we should do, we came up with the idea of opening this up. The headquarters were in Dallas, so we went to Dallas for a few days, sat down with management and everything, and went through the whole situation. We even did like a training camp where we had to go to a store that's in Cedar Park location. Well, you know where it is, but it's up north, a little bit close to where you're from area. And we had to run that store for 3 weeks before we got our store. And instead of hiring people to come in and rearrange our store and everything else, we literally took the thing. We went, picked out the tile for our
business.
We did all the stuff. We unloaded the truck. We did everything. We tried to figure out how to cut costs and do things and everything else, and just realized like we're willing to go all in. We also went over LLC, and it's actually 3 of us. It's Brian Henson also. I think you met him probably a couple of times. He was in my wedding, so he was there. Shorter guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
It's us 3. So, we did this. We wrote up an LLC, and we said, like, no family members are involved. So me and Brian Rackpo both are married, but we can't have our wives a part of this. I can't call my brother. It's literally say, hey, if we're going to do this, we're all in. We're not going to, sit back and let somebody else take more of the slack or whatever it is, or call X, Y, and Z's wife, hey, he's not doing his part, but can you? So we literally just say, listen, we're going to go all in. And it's like a 3-headed monster. We all work together. You probably seen on IG where I'm in there baking and things of that nature. You got to know the ins and the outs. If somebody calls in sick, 5:30 in the morning, my phone rings. Hey, I can't make it in. I'm sick. Okay, that's cool. I got to jump up out of bed and go take care of business. So it's really all hands on deck. And we thought about expanding and looking at things of, Gigi's filed bankruptcy, but it really didn't affect us because we were doing so well. They talked to us to try to have us branch on and try to work out some type of deal. Some things didn't feel so right with us. So we kind of said, hey, we're going to continue to do our own thing. But we also managed the Microsoft commercial, Good Morning America, like you said. We did the Ben and Pickett show in Nashville. ABC signed us our rights for life after football. So they're going to try to make a reality TV show about that. So there's a lot of different things that we got going on. We just shot a pilot with Food Network, a baking competition. So we got a lot of different things that's going on. But again, the main focus is like we like to call it our baby. It kind of became a tourist spot, especially here in Austin, where people like to come. Saw that commercial. And I think the thing that really caught a lot of people's attention is to see that, these are football players. They're supposed to be the most masculine, the barbarians. They're supposed to be these type of guys. And then all of a sudden you're like, hold on, they're actually in a bakery baking and doing things out of the norm. They'll wear a pink apron and things of that nature. And basically, I think it's just giving everybody that light that, listen, whatever you put your mind to, just do it. Don't worry about what everybody else is thinking. Don't worry about if it's the norm or not, because you don't know that idea. If you go out and shoot for it, it may open up a lot of people's eyes and start some type of fashion statement, wherever it may be.
I like that, man, because so much in this league or just in our industry, a lot of times we're afraid to branch out and do our own thing or just necessarily go and blaze our own trail. So, man, shout out to you and Ragpo for doing that. I see y'all with the commercials, the Microsoft, like what you just said. Good Morning America, man, big things and much love, much respect to it. And I wish I would have thought of that first because I definitely would have hopped on. But like I said, ATX, man, I love always the innovative thinking. Speaking of which, Longhorn football, you also are a part of the Longhorn Network as an analyst, as I saw much last season. Is that something that, along with the cupcake industry, that back in your playing days you always wanted to do, or is it something that just kind of came along as you finished after your playing days were over with?
Well, you understand this and know this, that every time you ever did that interview, that was the interview process. Whenever they put that camera in that microphone and they ask you questions, that's always the interview. That's always that interview for different people. So you never know who you may come in contact with. So I always took pride in that whenever I did the interviews and things of that nature. And I was actually doing an intern coaching with the Tennessee Titans. And at the time, Longhorn Network gave me a call and was like, hey, we want to know if you want to come and do this season. And I'm like, well, actually, I'm in Nashville right now interning with the Tennessee Titans. And they're like, well, we need to know an answer or whatever. And I'm like, well, I mean, are y'all paying? What's going on? They're like, yeah, we're paying. And I'm like, well, hey, coach, I got to go. What do you mean? I just got offered a job without getting offered a job. And it goes back to John Bianco, who was he does the media with the University of Texas, and they were asking questions on if there's any former players that you may know, and they was like, you would love Griff. He's a great guy. He can speak on camera. He's a character. He's a guy that when the cameras are off, he's one guy, but then when the cameras turn on, he's another type of guy. So you'll really enjoy him. And I just finished season 2 and just got word that possibly doing another season, number 3, this coming season. So it's been going good for me. Is this something I thought about? No, it wasn't. But, I feel like it's a blessing because things are just constantly falling into place for me.
I like that. Okay, so now going back to your playing days, something that I always want to pick guys' brains on, because I remember my time, and I feel like it probably came against the Longhorns my rookie year in college against Roy Williams. Was there a moment in your career, whether it could have been college or pro, obviously you're a first-round pick, so you already know you can play. When was the moment that, like, okay, you know what? I'm that dude. Not only can I play at this level, but I can be a star at this level. I can be elite at this level, Pro Bowl at this level.
You know what? My rookie year, I thought coming as a first rounder, I was going to be able to start right away. And the whole situation with the whole Pac-Man thing. He got suspended for a season, and he was a starting corner. So Coach Fisher tried to play me at the corner, and I was like, "Listen, that's not for me." I got beat. I remember playing against Buffalo in preseason, and I got beat deep by Lee Evans, and I'm like, you know, this guy's like elite world track runner, you know. And it's funny when you watch guys, you know, watching now, you hear about Tyreek Hill and these guys, and back when we played, it's like you realize how it's just a new chapter with new players, but they're the same type of person that were in the past. So when you got guys like I said, that like, you know, Joey Galloway and these guys, and you're like, yeah, okay,
I remember.
Now you got Tyreek Hill and these, you know, Odell Beckham, you know, that's great. Well, you know, you played against, you know, these guys, Marvin Harrison, all of them. All right, great, cool. You know, I respect them, but it's like, it's just going to be a new chapter. But I remember playing against Houston Texans my rookie year, and I was on special teams, and I remember I had 6 special team tackles all on kickoff, and it was a game where they were like, "Hey, every tackle you get, you know, it was like a plus, like it was some type of incentive they was gonna like."
I remember those special team meetings. Yeah, I remember that.
It was like some type of incentive you're gonna get, like, "Hey, you ain't got to practice, or I ain't gonna make you come to meetings, or whatever it was." It was an incentive, and I remember it was this one guy, and I was like, this linebacker, I was like, "Coach, just put me at L3. I guarantee I'm going to beat them all game." And it was a division game. And I was game 6 of the season. I ran down there, beat them 6 times, made 6 solo tackles, and I made another tackle on punt team. And then the very next week, I remember coach coming in there and it's like, "Hey, told our starting free safety, I'm benching you, and Griff, you're starting." And I was just like, "What?" He's like, "Griff, you're starting." The funny thing was we played Oakland the very next week. And y'all had Fargus. And I remember the first play I went out there, it was a play action pass, and I bit on the play action. So at that point, I kept getting deeper, deeper, and deeper as a free safety. So when we got to meetings, the coach was like, "Griff, it seems as if we're playing 10 on 11 right now. Why you keep?" I said, "Coach, I got beat deep." So I realized this game is a lot faster than what I thought it was. But after that, it was like I realized I could play. But, you know, it got slower after that. But that first play, it happened so fast. I said, let me back up. I was in the back, literally at the line of scrimmage, and I just see him throwing the ball deep, and I was like, "Oh, I think I'm supposed to be back there." But after that, I managed to go 3 weeks in a row with 3 interceptions, and one was against it was against some great players and things of that nature. And I remember guard Antonio Gates got an interception, and it was just different things like that. And at that point, it was like, okay. And then the next year, I made my first Pro Bowl, and I was like, I realized I can play at this level. But that game right there, I think, was what set me up to put me in that starting role and to start 10 games that season. And then from there, I think I went 100 and something games straight, missed 2 games in my whole career.
Yeah, that's one thing that I tell young guys coming into this league is that oftentimes special teams can be how you get on the field, no matter where you were drafted, or just special teams can be how you get noticed by the coaching staff. So don't ever just take a playoff thinking that it doesn't matter. And also, just for fans, they don't realize how fast this game truly is going, and they can't see it through the TV screen. You know what I mean? Like, once you actually get out there on that field and you see that running back make that cut and hit that hole, or you see like a guy like Aaron Rodgers, like exactly how much velocity is on his passes, that's when you develop such a different level of respect for the game and realize that, okay, you know what, that really is like the world's best athletes out there on that football field. We could go ahead and talk about this topic all day, but I got to go ahead and cut it down. Griff, once again, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for being on. Much respect to you, Arakpo, everybody else, a part of the Cupcake Connoisseur company. Like I said, man, love having you on, and we definitely got to do this again.
Last question: what kind of cupcakes you got?
I got the birthday cake types. I got the it's got
From
some
where?
chocolate.
From where?
I just got it from the Kroger down the street, man. That's where I got. But now that I know that there's one in Houston, I'm definitely gonna go check it out.
You're so disrespectful. I'm done talking to you.
Griff, Griff, I ain't know they had one down here.
You should have looked it up and asked me. You got my number. You texted me earlier. I'm done
You're
talking.
right. You're right. My mistake. My mistake. I got you on the back end.
Hey, I still love you though, my brother.
Appreciate you, dog. ATX brethren, Michael Griffin, love having you on. We definitely got to do this again sometime.
Yes, sir.
All right.